Ever catch yourself wondering, like, where did we get alphabets from? I think about it all the time. And today, we're going deep, diving into the world of Hangul.
Hangul!
The Korean writing system, yeah. And trust me, this isn't your average ABCs. Hangul has, like, this whole cool history, a really clever design.
It is unique. You're spot on about that. Unlike a lot of alphabets that kind of evolved over, ages, Hangul, somebody sat down and created it.
Wait, seriously, someone just, like, invented it. We're talking about alphabets. We're talking, like, way back, right?
Way back. We're talking 1400s. King Sejong the Great. That's who we can thank for this one.
Hold on, a king. A king made an alphabet. That's, like, next level commitment.
Okay,
got to hear more about this King Sejong guy. What got him into the alphabet business?
So picture this. King Sejong, fourth king of the Joseon dynasty, he really believed that everyone should have access to knowledge, But back then, literacy, that was for the elite few. They were using these super complicated Chinese characters to write Korean.
Ah, so it was like a whole exclusive club.
Exactly. And King Sejong, he wanted to change that. He wanted everyone to read and write.
Wow, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what people thought back then, especially those scholars, right? They must have been freaking out.
Oh, yeah. There was resistance, for sure. To them, knowing those Chinese characters, that was like a status symbol. So a new system and a simpler one at that. Not everyone was thrilled.
I bet. But King Sejong, he stuck with it.
He did. He was determined. He wanted to empower people, And that's how Hangul was born.
What a story. Okay, we've got this king on a mission to spread literacy. But how does Hangul actually work? I'm not going to lie, those characters always seemed kind of, like, mysterious to me.
Well, it's all about the building blocks. See, Hangul doesn't work by just, lining up letters like we do in English.
Yeah.
It's all about syllables.
Syllables, yeah.
Think of them as, like, individual letters. They call them jemos, and they fit together like a puzzle. And those pieces make the syllables, and those make the words.
So it's less about, like, a letter making a sound and more about these JMOs making a whole chunk of a word.
You got it. It's a whole different way of thinking about it.
Whoa. Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind a little. So, like, if we take a word, let's say soul, how does that work in Hangul?
Soul is written like this. Ook.
Yep. See how it's not a bunch of letters in a row? It's like one unit.
It's like a little word picture.
Exactly. Each block is a syllable, a little package of sound.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. That's actually kind of elegant when you think about it, like those click-together toys, but for language. So tell me more about these JMOs. Like, how do they even come up with shapes that make sense?
Well, the consonants are really where it gets ingenious. Each shape, it actually relates to how you say it.
Wait, what? Yeah?
Yeah. Like, take it makes a G or K sound. And the shape itself kind of looks like the back of your tongue when you make that sound, Pushing up on the roof of your mouth.
Are you serious? The letter shows you how to say it. That's amazing. Right. It's like they took the science of speaking, turned it into the alphabet.
Mind blown. Okay, but what about vowels? If the consonants are all about, like, where your tongue goes, what are the vowels doing?
Just as clever, trust me. They're made from 3 basic shapes. A dot, a horizontal line, and a vertical line.
Okay.
And those shapes, they're not random. They represent the sun, the earth, and humans.
Whoa, hold on. Philosophy is built into the alphabet, too.
It's all about balance, you see. It's a big part of Korean thought.
This is what I love about these deep dives, man. Always something new to discover.
Yeah.
But how do those shapes, like, turn into sounds we'd recognize?
By combining them, changing them up. Like a single vertical line, oh, that's oh. But add a dot to the horizontal one, you get oh, and that's oh.
So it's like a code, but a really, really clever one.
Exactly. They get all these different vowel sounds just from mixing and matching.
It's like they invented linguistic Lego. I'll be honest, before we started, alphabets kind of took them for granted. But this, Hangul, this is changing everything. But is it really scientific, like some people say? Or is that just, national pride talking?
That's a great question. And it's something people debate. Of course there's pride. But Hangul's design really is efficient. Think about English. One letter can have so many sounds. Like A in cat, car, father. Totally different.
Don't even get me started on English spelling.
Exactly. But Hangul, it avoids all that.
How?
Each letter, each combination, one sound. Simple. Makes it so much easier to learn. In fact, Edwin Reischauer, you familiar with him? He's a big name when it comes to East Asian languages. He called Hangul perhaps the most scientific system of writing in general use.
Okay, now that's high praise. This Reischauer guy, he knew his stuff.
Oh yeah, a real expert. And he was impressed. The way Hangul represents sounds, he thought it was amazing.
So we're talking about a king, wants everyone to read, creates this whole system, and centuries later, experts are still blown away.
Pretty much. It's that well designed.
Makes you wonder, did he, have any help? Did King Sejong get inspiration from other alphabets, or did he just pull this out of nowhere?
Good question. And that's something scholars are still trying to figure out. I mean, Hangul is one of a kind, but there are these debates about possible influences, like maybe the Mongols. They had this script, the Phags-Pa script.
Mongolian, huh? Okay, now we're getting into some juicy history. Tell me more. What's the connection?
Well, some of the Hangul characters, they look similar to Phags-Pa characters. They even make similar sounds.
So it's like looking at the shapes, they think they see these echoes of the Mongolian writing.
That's the idea. It's kind of like a big puzzle figuring out where the pieces came from.
That is wild. But okay, if King Sejong did borrow from Phags-Pa, why not just, say so? Why the secrecy?
See, that's where the politics come in.
Politics and alphabets.
Always. Back then, Korea and the Mongols.
Yeah.
Complicated history. Sometimes friends, sometimes not. So saying, hey, we got this from the Mongols might not have gone over so well. Especially with China, they just kicked the Mongols out, you see.
So he's like, you got to pick your battles, even with alphabets.
Exactly. And it shows how important Hangul was. It wasn't just about writing, it was about Korea, Its own identity, separate from China. That's a big deal.
And they nailed it. Look at Korea now, they're super proud of Hangul.
And they should be. It's a reminder that literacy, language, that's powerful stuff. King Sejong knew it then, and it's still true today.
Totally. But has it changed at all? I mean, from back in the 1400s, has Hangul stayed the same? Or has it, evolved?
It's evolved, for sure, but not in a drastic way. More like refinements.
Refinements? Like what?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about, adding new letters?
No, nothing that dramatic. Hangul's design, it's so good, they really got it right the first time. But language changes, There are sounds now that didn't exist back then.
Oh, right. Like from other languages. We're talking loan words and stuff.
Exactly. Modern Korean, it's got words from all over, English especially, you know how it is. So Hangul had to adapt.
That's pretty cool, actually. So how'd they do it? Just make up new characters?
Sometimes. But they're clever, right? They figured out ways to use what they already had, combining characters in new ways, sometimes even, borrowing a little from other writing systems.
That's some serious linguistic engineering going on.
You could say that, but the point is, it worked. Hangul's still going strong.
It's like this ever-evolving thing. I like that. Speaking of evolving, what about computers? Has technology messed with Hangul at all?
Oh, huge impact. In some ways, it was a challenge at first, try typing Hangul on a keyboard. It's not like you can just give each character its own key.
There are way too many characters for that.
Exactly. But, Korean engineers, they're sharp. They came up with these clever input methods.
So they found a workaround.
More than that. It pushed technology forward, and now, Hangul, it's all over the digital world. Fonts, websites, the whole deal.
That's amazing. From ancient times to the digital age, I bet King Sejong would be mind-blown.
I'm sure of it. It's still making the world a better place, more connected, and it shows what we can do when we put our minds to it.
Absolutely. Well, that was quite the deep dive. Hangul, everyone. Such a cool story. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay curious.